In the world of college football, where dreams are built on sweat, sacrifice, and unrelenting determination, one name has risen above the noise: Fernando Mendoza, the star quarterback for Indiana University. But behind every great athlete stands an even greater story, and for Fernando, that story begins and ends with one person: his mother, Elsa Mendoza. This isn't just a story about touchdowns and victories. This is a story about love, perseverance, and the unbreakable bond between a mother and son. It is about finding strength in the face of adversity and discovering that true greatness isn't measured in championships alone. It is measured in the courage to keep fighting when everything seems impossible. Elsa Mendoza isn't just Fernando's mother. She's his best friend, his inspiration, his reason for waking up every morning and pushing beyond his limits. But Elsa carries a burden that most people couldn't imagine. She lives with multiple sclerosis, a relentless nervous system disease that gradually paralyzes the body, stealing mobility and independence piece by piece. Multiple sclerosis, or MS, is a condition where the immune system mistakenly attacks the protective covering of nerve fibers, disrupting communication between the brain and the rest of the body. For Elsa, this means simple tasks that most of us take for granted: walking, moving freely, even maintaining balance have become daily battles. The disease has made it increasingly difficult for her to move around, transforming everyday activities into monumental challenges. But here's what makes Elsa Mendoza extraordinary. Despite the physical limitations, despite the pain, despite the frustration that comes with a body that doesn't cooperate the way it once did, she refuses to let MS define her spirit. Her happiness radiates like sunshine breaking through storm clouds. Her joy is infectious, touching everyone around her. Her determination is unwavering, inspiring not just her son, but everyone fortunate enough to know her story. Fernando Mendoza doesn't just play football, he attacks it with a ferocity born from watching his mother face her own daily battles with grace and grit. Every practice, every workout, every moment when his body screams for rest, he thinks of her. When doubt creeps into his mind, when that little voice whispers that maybe he should skip a set, take it easy, or coast through a training session, he silences it with thoughts of his mother. Fernando explains it like this: if he's at a workout and feeling tired, and a little thought in his mind says maybe he should skip out on a set, he thinks about his mom. He says she's out here every single day putting in a ton of work, a ton of dedication, and still with a great, positive attitude in everything she does. Think about that for a moment. While Fernando battles defensive linemen weighing 300 pounds, while he studies game film until his eyes burn, while he pushes his body to its absolute limits in the weight room, his mother is fighting her own battle. She's fighting just to move, just to maintain her independence, just to live her life with dignity. And she does it all with a smile. How can he possibly quit when she never does? How can he complain about being tired when she faces exhaustion as her constant companion? How can he ever give anything less than 100% when she gives everything she has just to get through another day? This is the fuel that burns in Fernando's heart. This is the fire that drives him to excellence. This is why he's not just good, he's exceptional. In a world where athletes are often celebrated for their physical gifts, Fernando Mendoza stands apart because he understands something profound. True strength isn't just physical. It's mental, it's emotional, it's spiritual. And his mother has taught him that lesson every single day of his life. When Fernando talks about his mother, you can hear the emotion in his voice. You can feel the depth of his love and respect. He calls his mom his best friend, his inspiration, and then explains that she has multiple sclerosis. The way he describes her as his best friend first, then his inspiration, tells you everything you need to know about their relationship. This isn't obligation. This isn't duty. This is genuine love and admiration. Elsa has shown Fernando that circumstances don't define you, your response to them does. She could have become bitter. She could have retreated from life, allowing MS to steal not just her mobility, but her joy. Instead, she chose differently. She chose happiness. She chose to remain engaged, positive, and present. She chose to be the light in her son's life rather than a burden, and Fernando sees that. He internalizes it. He carries it with him onto the field, into the classroom, into every aspect of his life. Fernando's love for his mother extends beyond personal motivation. It drives his passion for giving back to others. He says he loves charity work and that a big part of it is giving back. This isn't just talk, this is action. This is a young man who understands that his platform as a star athlete comes with responsibility. He's seen firsthand how devastating MS can be. He's watched his mother struggle with a condition that has no cure, that progressively steals physical abilities, that forces constant adaptation. And he's determined to make a difference not just for his mother, but for everyone facing similar challenges. Think about what that means for a college athlete with an incredibly demanding schedule. Between classes, practices, film study, games, training sessions, and everything else required to compete at the highest level, Fernando still finds time for charity work. He still makes space to give back, because his mother taught him that life isn't just about what you achieve, it's about how you impact others. This perspective, this understanding that we're all connected and responsible for one another, sets Fernando apart from many of his peers. He's not just building a football career, he's building a legacy of compassion and service. When Indiana clinched the Big Ten championship, it wasn't just a victory for the team or for Fernando personally, it was a triumph for Elsa Mendoza too. After years of watching her son pour his heart and soul into the sport he loves, after countless early mornings and late nights, after injuries and setbacks and moments of doubt, the championship represented vindication. When asked about her son winning the Big Ten championship, Elsa's response was simple but powerful. "I'm so proud of him. I'm so happy, he deserves it all." Imagine being a mother who has watched your son dedicate himself so completely to a dream. Imagine seeing him push through pain, overcome obstacles, and refuse to settle for anything less than excellence, all while drawing inspiration from your own battle with a chronic illness. In that moment, when the championship became reality, all of it, the sacrifices, the hard work, the dedication, it all made sense. But notice what Elsa says. He deserves it all. Not "we deserve it" or "I'm glad he won." She says he deserves it. Because despite being his inspiration, despite being the reason he pushes so hard, Elsa remains humble. She deflects credit to her son where she believes it belongs. This humility, this grace, sits where Fernando learned to carry himself with dignity and respect. Fernando Mendoza's story isn't just about football. It's not just about a talented quarterback leading his team to victory. It's about something much deeper and more universal. It's about the power of love, the strength that comes from adversity, and the inspiration we can find in the most challenging circumstances. We live in a world that often celebrates individual achievement while forgetting the support systems that make those achievements possible. We worship athletes for their physical prowess while overlooking the emotional and psychological foundations that allow them to excel. Fernando reminds us that behind every success story is a network of love, sacrifice, and inspiration. His story teaches us several crucial lessons. First, perspective is everything. When Fernando feels tired during a workout, he doesn't just push through with empty willpower, he connects to something bigger than himself. He thinks about his mother's daily struggle, and suddenly his own challenges seem manageable. This is a powerful tool that anyone can use. When we connect our efforts to something meaningful, we find reserves of strength we didn't know we possessed. Second, adversity doesn't have to be limiting. Elsa Mendoza has every reason to feel defeated, to surrender to her condition, to retreat from life. Instead, she chooses joy. She chooses engagement. She chooses to inspire. Her MS doesn't define her, her response to it does. This is a lesson for everyone facing difficulties. You may not control your circumstances, but you absolutely control your attitude toward them. Third, gratitude is transformative. Fernando doesn't take his physical abilities for granted because he sees what his mother has lost. He doesn't complain about hard workouts because he understands the privilege of having a body that responds to training. This gratitude fuels his excellence and keeps him grounded. When we appreciate what we have instead of focusing on what we lack, we unlock new levels of performance and satisfaction. And fourth, giving back matters. Fernando could focus solely on his own success, but instead he prioritizes charity work. He understands that his mother's example of perseverance and positivity isn't just for him, it is a message worth sharing with the world. When we use our platforms and abilities to help others, we create meaning that transcends personal achievement. As Fernando Mendoza continues his football career, one thing is certain: he'll never lose sight of what truly matters. He'll never forget the woman who taught him that strength isn't about what you can lift or how fast you can run, it's about how you face life's challenges with grace, determination, and joy. Elsa Mendoza may have multiple sclerosis, but MS doesn't have her. She remains undefeated in the battle that truly matters, the battle to maintain her spirit, her positivity, and her love for life. And every time her son takes the field, every time he leads his team to victory, every time he refuses to give up when things get tough, he carries her with him. This is what inspiration looks like. This is what love looks like. This is what it means to never give up, not because quitting isn't an option, but because you've been shown by someone you love that perseverance, joy, and determination can triumph over any obstacle. Fernando Mendoza is a champion on the field, but he's a champion off the field too, shaped by the most powerful force in his life: his mother, his best friend, his inspiration. And that's a story worth celebrating, worth sharing, and worth remembering long after the final whistle blows. The game continues, the inspiration never ends. And the Mendoza legacy of never giving up lives on. Thank you for watching. If you were moved by this story, be sure to like and subscribe for more content that inspires.